News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Make it a preset, y'all. 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. Very interesting and good piece in Dallas Morning News about a 10-year-old boy at Frisco's Bledsoe Elementary School who was in the specialized education plan because of his autism. And on his way out of class one time, he told his fifth grade teacher, maybe I should bring a gun to school, then maybe people will listen to me. Or maybe they will listen to me. That's the exact quote. Maybe I should bring a gun to school, then maybe they will listen to me. Parents say, oh, he was totally misunderstood. It ruined his education for the next 2 years. $24,000 in attorney's fees for 2 years. He was dreaming of going to Stanford. That was his dream. He was going to be the best scientist in the world. Now he's totally dispirited 2 years later. He does online classes because they don't want him to go into the school. They don't know what to do. He can go back into Frisco ISD, and the prosecutor, after 2 years of intensely working with the attorneys for the parents and the boy, said, okay, I've watched you with psychiatrists for 2 years, and I do believe that everything's been put together and he's not going to offend anymore, so we're going to drop the charges. But it took 2 years. And she says the way it was handled, the mom says the way it was handled was wrong. He was arrested on the day of that school, right when he threatened right away, and charged with a Class A misdemeanor, threat of exhibiting a firearm at the school. The charge does not require the person to display a gun or have access to one. The Dallas Morning News reports in this exclusive report. I haven't seen it anywhere else. And look, Uvalde happened, Georgia happened. This is so serious. Half the kids that have been referred to the justice system for something like this are between 10 and 13. He's 10. And a little bit more real fast before we go to your call. We have 3 lines open. 800-288-WBAP is our number. 800-288-9227. Do you think Frisco ISD handled this gun threat properly? Because, here's the other thing. Is he going to... They eventually dropped it, like I said, but the parents feel this is a total injustice. They've destroyed you destroyed our child's life and everything, his dreams. Look, if he gets let off as a 10-year-old threatening, are we going to do that for him when he's a 15-year-old, 20-year-old? No. And this Frisco police officer in a video that was making the rounds they put out said in May 2023, if you jokingly state that you're going to blow up the school, rest assured we'll fine you. You will be arrested and you're headed to jail. That's exactly what I want. If this kid was in your kid's classroom, would you want him back in, even if it was ruled by a kind of a group that makes a determination with Frisco ISD eventually said it was because of his was caused by or did have a direct and substantial relationship to his disability, meaning he would not go to alternative school. He would be able to return to his normal school classroom with some additional support. You want that kid in your 10-year-old's class? I don't. Did they handle it right? 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. Nathan, you are on WBAP. Hello.
Well, all right. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I'm just thrilled that they finally got one of these people that captured them alive, so that they can get in their head and find out just what's going on. Because, for years I thought, man, if they just didn't kill that guy, they could have got a psychiatrist to get in his head and find out what the heck was he thinking,
Yeah.
I can remember, 10 years old. It don't sound like much, but I could pop a squirrel out of a tree at 10 years old with 22 with no problem. Mm-hmm. And in college, we used to carry shotguns to school on a gun rack, and after school we go dove hunting and stuff, and the last thing on our mind was shooting a human being, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So I think this was handled properly, don't you?
Yes, I do.
And they had the liberal groups in here saying, a school-to-prison pipeline, which is a lie. And this is going to do that to him. It's such a lie. You made a threat. I don't want that kid in my son's class ever, or my daughter's class ever, while they're in a public school. Do you? No,
he should be put in a he should be watched. I don't know how in the world he do it, but hopefully he can go on and have a life, you know.
And does it matter how far
together? And
yeah. Does it matter how far on the autism spectrum he is on? Because he has a special plan for it, and he has it. But it doesn't matter to me. I mean, do autistic people get to murder and get off for it? I mean, what is this?
Well, he needs help, and I don't know about autism, you know, other than what I've seen on TV. So, but that's not an excuse. That's more of a reason for somebody to get on top of it and look at it.
I appreciate your great call tonight, Nathan. Let's go to Mike in Fort Worth. Mike, what do you got? WBAP.
I don't see this as being any different than ClockMed a few years ago in Irving.
Oh, yeah. I know about ClockMed with the bomb, the alleged bomb thing. Yeah, the kid. He was like 15. Oh, no, this is just a fun project here. Yeah. Good memory. Good memory. ClockMed. That was great. So he claimed to be innocent and whatever. It was an invention. No, he literally took a clock apart a little bit and it looked like a bomb. I remember that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Whether it's a physical device or something verbal, you know, it's still a threat. And I'm glad they took him out like that. And hopefully it'll be dealt with accordingly.
What about? He was. What about?
I'm talking about this latest.
Yeah,
case.
That's what happened. It was adjudicated, and after 2 years of going through 3 lawyers and $24,000 of attorney's fees and a lot of counseling and a lot of expensive counseling and psychiatrists, the DA's office in Collin eventually said, "Okay, we think that your son is no longer a threat. You've gone through a lot of intensive therapy and shared everything with us, which we want. We dropped the charges." But they wouldn't do it for 2 years, and they're saying you ruined our son, you ruined his dreams, you destroyed him, and he didn't mean it, and he was joking around. I don't give a frog's fat. You know what? Do you?
Absolutely not. You start popping up like that, you got to pay the price. I don't care who you are, how old you are, what kind of incapacitation you have, mentally, physically. Or
okay, even the autism spectrum doesn't matter to you, right?
Not to me.
Neither to me. If you have a problem like that, don't go to the school if you can't handle. If you can't not make a threat. Let's go to Michael in Rockwall. Hi, WBAP.
What's up, Chris?
What's up?
So I've got a 9-year-old son. He's autistic, nonverbal. I agree with you that the school district handled it properly. Now, him being arrested, I'm not really sure about all that. My solution would be expel him from the school and then kind of look at other scenarios of how you can handle that. But, the arrest side of it, man, that's a 10-year-old saying that. Number one, any 10-year-old would probably say something like that out of the blue. But now you're talking about someone who's on the spectrum. And, again, we don't know what type of autism he has, what form it is. But arresting a 10-year-old with autism, that's crazy to me.
I don't think so, and here's why. Because he needs to know this is a crime and he broke the law and you're going to be treated like anybody else. And the school and his peers and everybody in Frisco ISD needs to know this too. And now this is your future. And now every parent in Frisco ISD, whether they have autism or not with their kids, is telling them, don't you ever say anything. This kid's, life's been ruined for 2 years because he made a bad decision. So I think it was a good decision. I'm glad they cuffed him and made a normal, you could say it's a spectacle. I'm glad they did that. That's what I want for anybody who does a school shooting threatening. And I think it taught the kid a lesson. And I know it's harsh for the kid, but dude, you threaten to shoot up a school. And that's happening all over the place now.
For someone to be on the spectrum like that, that's just
so. If he
touchy subject,
if he threatens to kill somebody in a couple years when he's 13, 15, or he commits a sexual assault of somebody, is that okay too? Because he's on the spectrum. Are you criminally liable if you have autism? My question is, are you criminally liable if you have autism and you commit a crime?
No. I think there's a lot of things that could be done otherwise. I think what Frisco did, they pulled him to the side for the 2 years and kind of said, okay, deemed necessary to
Actually,
be back in the school.
45 days later, they ruled he could go back into class. A board did. I think I would be insanely. I would not want my child in that class with that kid ever. After that, would you?
See, like that, the 45 days thing. I mean, that to me, that would be automatic expelled, and then maybe the school district could help out later on. But that's just
that's insane.
I don't know, man.
You don't want your daughter with him ever, do you? In a class, regardless, do you?
I've got 3 kids, man. So
you want them in there with them?
Actually, all home. They're all homeschooled right now.
Yeah, so are mine.
We don't do the school system.
I mean, mine are 18 and 21, but yeah, mine were too. But here's the thing. If the kid sexually assaults, rapes somebody when he's 15 or 17, we're not going to charge him. He's on the spectrum, right? We're going to follow that logic, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's fair.
Wait, you're saying if he rapes somebody at 15 or 17 that he shouldn't be charged because he has autism? You're saying yes, isn't that proper to not arrest him and charge him?
I mean, if we're talking rape and stuff like that, no charge. But I mean,
no charge if a 17-year-old autistic boy rapes a girl, you don't want him criminally charged.
Yes, charge him criminally. Charge him.
Why wouldn't you want him charged for doing a similar? It's not the same thing, but a crime that's just as serious because he has autism. It's just the same thing to me. You're liable. You're going to get arrested and charged, and let it be adjudicated or not. How is that proper?
To me, to me, he's 10. And then he has autism. So again, we don't know what kind of form of autism he has. I don't know if it's.
Don't you? This is a 10-page freaking article. It's like a book. It's annoyingly long. There's nothing mentioned that I saw or heard in this whole thing about what kind of where he is on the spectrum. But you cannot be not liable because you. Have autism, in my opinion, for a crime, and if it's that bad, then they'll put you. If that's bad, they're going to put you in a mental institution and lock you up anyway. I do appreciate your call, and I know that this is a hard story, but I appreciate your call, though.
Yep.
Thanks, brother. All right, Gary and Joshua, we're going to take you next at 18 minutes after the hour here on News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3. I'm going to give you more details. The last kind of closing statements from mom and dad, they're very mad. They think they've been very wrong. The child's been very wrong, and I strongly disagree. What do you say? 10-year-old boy that's autistic, should he be arrested and charged for allegedly threatening, well, actually, according to all the paperwork, threatening to shoot up the school? Oh, he didn't mean it. He's not like that. Oh, we don't own any guns. We don't own any guns. I don't give a frog's. Do you? Oh, this guy is a terrorist, but he doesn't own any guns. Let it go. Or this terrorist has autism. There's developmentally disabled people that blow themselves up because the radical Islamists, Hamas, use them and they go across the border. You know how they've done that over the years for over decades and decades and decades. And blow themselves up to kill people. They even have gotten like 13-year-old developmentally disabled people to do it. The point being, though, I mean, if you do it, you do it. It has to be charged and adjudicated, and whatever happens, happens. All right, 800-288-WBAP is our number. 800-288-9227. Do you think Frisco ISD handled this gun threat properly, or were they way too harsh? Actually, it's not even them, too. It's the cops. It's the cops. The cops charged him, and the DA wouldn't drop it. And I think she did a great job with that. Do you think that was too much? 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. On News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Make it a preset. 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. Even the teacher of the child who reported the school shooting threat, quote, about the 10-year-old boy in Frisco ISD, maybe I should bring a gun to school, then maybe they will listen to me. Parents, in trying to get this thrown out and dismissed, asked the teacher with their lawyer, is that justice? In my personal opinion, no. As a victim listed in the police report, do you believe it's a good use of taxpayer money and resources to continue prosecuting him? In my personal opinion, no. Parents spent $40,000 on their cases against the school district, and $24,000 that went toward fighting his criminal charge. After 45 days, 2 years, the Dallas Morning News reports in this exclusive report, his confidence is shattered. The boy, he stopped believing in a Stanford dream. They're afraid of their sending their son back to school in Frisco or any other in-person school, and they attack our country that they are new to as immigrants, legal immigrants apparently from Bangladesh. We call this a first world country where we treat our children like this and criminalize them. What kind of a country is that? It's the kind of country that puts you in jail for threatening to kill us. That's what kind of a country is. What do they do in Bangladesh if you threaten to shoot up the school? Probably a lot worse, man. Probably going to cane them, throw them in jail, and never let them come into public school again. So how dare you? How dare you, ingrate? Try owning a responsibility for your son's actions. And he's on the spectrum. He's got autism. He's 10. He made that school shooting threat. And cops arrested him at 10 years of age, brought him out and in cuffs and took him to jail, booked him, and charged him with Class A misdemeanor for exhibiting a firearm at school. Okay, do you think Frisco ISD handled this gun threat properly? Did the police in Frisco handle it properly? I sure think so. How about you? 800-288-WBAP. Two lines open. Let's go to Gary and Joshua. Gary, you're on WBAP.
Hey, how you doing this evening?
Good.
Well, I believe that boy's daddy should have whipped his ass real good for saying that. And I think that if he had better parenting at home, he probably wouldn't be having them problems.
You know, I think, yeah, I think it's possible that could happen, even though your parents are good. But I think it's how you react to it.
When I was that age, I'd be afraid to go to school and say something like that.
I know, I'd be ashamed.
My dad would do to me when
I'd be ashamed.
Home.
I'd be ashamed, and I would be. Yeah, oh yeah, my dad and my mom. When I did something, we took some guns.
If I did something like that, my mom would have whooped me when I got home, and then when my dad got home from work, he'd whoop me again.
When I was 12, my friend was house sitting. He was a year too older than me, and we found some guns in the house and went out to a field and shot them. Cops got called. They came out and took the guns, and we got in big trouble. My dad was disgusted and angry as all hell because he's a cop and worked in prosecution and stuff. He was embarrassed and angry, and I got a big whooping.
So.
I'll never forget that, and the shame and the humiliation. I had to do community service, and it was the best thing though. I washed cop cars, I pulled daisies and stuff.
And if that boy's daddy has guns at home, he better have them things in a gun set.
Yeah, he doesn't. And they're like, well, he doesn't even have guns. I don't give a frog's fat. You know what? If he does or doesn't have guns, you start to shoot the school. You're going to jail, right?
Yeah, you should be in trouble for saying something like that.
An Islamic terrorist.
In an age where kids are actually going to school and shooting each other.
Yep. I got to roll, but great call.
Whenever I was that age, we weren't really having that problem. But
Gary, great call. Out of Joshua. Appreciate you. That really is a great. Keep calling, brother. I got more to say on my issue that I had, but yeah, absolutely. We're going to talk to Karen and Denton coming up next. Jill in Frisco. It's very fascinating to see what listeners are trending now when they're calling in with if this kid was handled right or if mom and dad and the kid are a victim. The way they handle this makes this kid even more bound to do something. This is their fault that this was handled the wrong way, not the schools and not the cops. I think they handled it right. How about you? Three lines open, 800-288-WBAP, 800-288-9227. News Talk 820 WBAP now on FM at 93.3. Make it a preset, y'all. 800-288-WBAP is our number. 800-288-9227. You guys are really adding a lot to the show tonight in your calls. 10-year-old boy, autistic, is walking out of class one day in 5th grade. Says maybe I should bring a gun to school, then maybe they will listen to me. Well, the school kicks him out. Sends him to the bad school, then has a board meeting with the people who are in charge of it, deciding. They say, yeah, his disability was why this happened, and therefore we'll let him go back into school in 45 days. I can't believe that. I would never want that young man in my child's class ever. I wouldn't want him in my school ever. Every single one of these school shooters that I recall all had the FBI or the sheriffs or police investigate them. Producer Garrett Tu and I were talking a moment ago, and he was saying, didn't the same thing happen with Adam Lanza at Sandy Hook? And I said, I believe so. And didn't the same thing. I was telling you the Georgia case. A year or two earlier, they investigated him for school threats, and they said, well, we investigated it, but there's nothing that we can do to charge. And then he went back and finished the job and murdered his 2 teachers and 2 of his colleagues at school there, a couple of months ago, a month or 2 ago. And that's a quick, simple pattern. The terrorist Cruz I forget his first name, but it's something Cruz, Nicholas Cruz or something in Florida, who shot up Parkland. He, Marjorie Stone Douglas Parkland or whatever it is, high school. And he was investigated by the FBI and I believe by the Sheriff's Department. And nothing we can really do. And then he finished the job in a horrifying way. So this is exactly what they should do. They arrested him and charged him with Class A misdemeanor for the threat of exhibiting a firearm at school. Doesn't require him to display a gun or have access to one. Case was in the justice system in Collin County for 2 years. They spent $40,000, they claim, on cases, on their cases against the district. They're suing the district, which is disgusting to me. They also say they spent $24,000 toward fighting his criminal charges. And after 745 days working with the prosecutor's office, giving them all the information from their psychiatrist that was seeing the kid for a couple of years, they finally said, okay, we believe he's not a threat anymore, so we'll drop the charges. The parents, though, say his confidence has been shattered. He stopped believing in his dream of going to Stanford. They both are immigrants from Bangladesh, apparently, and they're angry. They say they're afraid of sending him back to school in Frisco. He's doing online school. A couple years later at 11 or 13, I think he is. They still question, the Dallas Morning News story says, months after the dismissal, why it happened. They think often about their way the country's love and fear of guns shaped their son's world. See, we did this to him. We made him a terrorist. We did. It's Americans' fault. People like you and me that own guns and want violence. That's why we need Kamala and Colin Allred to take away my guns. I'm a threat. We need to cancel all those American TV shows and take everybody's guns away. They literally attacked the country that they came to. We call this a first world country. We treat our children like this and criminalize them. What kind of a country is this? It's kind of a country that locks you up for being threatening to be a school shooter. You go to jail. That kind. And he has autism, and they're like, well, he had a plan, and it's because of his autism. I don't give a frog's fat. You know what? You threaten to kill somebody, shoot up a school, you've committed a crime. Let the courts handle it at that point, the prosecutor. 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. Do you think Frisco ISD handled this gun threat properly? 800-288-WBAP. Let us now go to Karen in Denton. Karen, thanks for listening to WBAP.
Chris, I agree with you 100%. And I challenge somebody to go and look at this kid's internet history. What he said was attention-getting behavior. He knew exactly what he was saying.
Yeah.
And everyone is calling and saying, oh, autistic, only 10 years old. 10 years old is not what it used to be. These kids have exposure to things that they didn't have exposure to back when I was a kid. I'm 52 years old now. We are in a situation now where there is violence in schools because there is no accountability. There is no discipline. We are practicing things that we shouldn't be. Oh, it's okay. Let's get you counseling. Let's go to timeout. They need to bring back the paddle room. Just the fact that his parents said, oh, you crushed his dreams of Stanford shows that this child is smart. I have a 10-year-old nephew on the spectrum, and his aptitude would put most adults to shame. Yeah. He knew exactly what he was saying, and we need to start exercising some discipline and consequence for behavior.
What's the relation to the person who has the young man who has autism? That's really smart. What did you say? What's his relation to you?
My nephew. Okay. My sister's son. He's brilliant.
How many times has he threatened to shoot up the school?
Absolutely not. He would know better.
But he has autism. It's not his fault.
That's right. That is absolutely not. Autism does not mean that you are incompetent. If you look at people with autism, they are brilliant.
So they're saying my son is incompetent. My son doesn't know right from wrong is what they're saying.
No, absolutely not. And if that was the case, he shouldn't be in public school with other children to begin with.
And he shouldn't be going to Stanford.
Stay home.
If he doesn't know right from wrong.
And he shouldn't be going to Stanford. Exactly. Let him stay at home and do online school. That's where he needs to be.
And here's the other thing. Look at this. They're from Bangladesh originally, and they think they are often about the way their countries love in America, and fear of guns shaped their son's world. We call this a first world country. We treat our children like this as criminals. What kind of a country is that? Who exposed them to guns? This country or them?
Exactly. You're exactly right.
Because who controls, do Americans, does the evil, wicked Satan of America come into their home? They came here to be in our country.
Absolutely
do they come, do we
not.
show up, do you and I show up there and play violent things for the kid? Is it us? Is it our country?
No.
These people are ridiculous the more I think about this and read into this. This is vile.
That's right.
I would say get out of here.
Go to school and do what they want. The teachers have no authority to discipline anymore, and it's a mess. We're in a situation and it needs to be fixed.
I would say if you blame the country you came to, then get out of here. Save your son and save yourself and flee.
If you don't like it, leave.
Flee. We're all horrible. Flee. You're too good for us.
Did a wonderful thing. All schools need to start doing it.
Yep.
I think he should have been arrested. We can't play around with this stuff. That was attention-getting behavior.
Yes, it was.
He knew exactly what he was saying. If you think about it, it was very calculated.
Dang, you're right. See, and you have kids, don't you?
I do. I have 2 sons.
Okay, so look. Here's the thing. How old are they now?
29 and 30.
Okay, and I have a 21-year-old son, and I have an 18-year-old daughter. And you know, as a parent instinctually, if you're a responsible parent, you know. And that's why you're so sharp and unequivocal about this. Great job, Mom. Appreciate your call, Karen.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
And again, 10 years old is not what it used to be.
Yeah, especially when you let your kids...
We need to think about this.
Especially when you let your kids get exposed to things that you think are so bad and evil about this country. Thanks for your call, Karen. Nobody's showing up at the kid's school or jumping out of him in his neighborhoods, teaching him about guns and killing. I mean, what is this? It's your fault, Mom and Dad. Whatever it is you don't like, then own it. They want to blame this is really disgusting. They want to blame our country. How disgusting. I'm glad this happened to you and your son. I'm glad this came out. I had compassion for you, but no. I read more into this. I'm like, screw you, you ingrate. Get out of here. You're so right. We're so wrong. Get out of here. Leave. Save yourselves. You're too good for us. Leave. I'm sure you'll early vote for Kamala before you leave. Thank you. Can I pop Jill on real fast and then we'll move on? Jill in Frisco, where this happened at Frisco's Bledsoe Elementary School. You're in Frisco. You, my lady, are on the WBAP. What's up?
Oh, I have so much to say. But first off, the previous caller, Karen, she absolutely nailed it. And I don't think Frisco did enough.
Right.
After all of that, I don't think they did enough. Let's make an example. I don't care if you're autistic or not. The fact, and this is the country we live in, the fact that we let immigrants sue us in our own country, that's a lot. That's upsetting on so many levels. What kind of country is this? You're going to come into our country, put your kid in our public schools, and I know for a fact there are signs like billboards in India, because I've had people that I know that travel, and it says, go to Frisco, Texas. It's been blessed. And there's signs saying, go to Frisco, Texas for the school district. They'll have your kids reading, writing, and speaking. And I know that there's a lot of autistic kids over in India and stuff, and I know that a year.
There's a lot here
ago,
too, by the way. But go ahead, yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, but a year or 2 years ago, all FISD teachers were given a 50-page document or packet on how to teach autistic Indian children.
Wow.
I'm sorry, I'm going to go where no one's going to go with this, but everyone's kind of teetering on it. But I agree with you. If you don't like it here, don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm saying get the heck out of here. I mean, leave. You're right. We're wrong. We're horrible. Yeah. Yeah, get out of here. You're too good for us.
Who have been the terrorists? Who has attacked this country? Okay, yeah, call it racial profiling, call it whatever.
Oh, we got a terrorist that was just Joe Biden and Kamala. They let him in after they destroyed Afghanistan and shamed us in front of the world, which led to Ukraine and then Israel getting attacked. And then they brought home all these Afghanis that we all said were terrorist sympathizers or terrorists, or at least were not vetted and we don't want them here. And they came here, and one of them was just arrested for he sold all of his he liquidated everything, and he was getting his family out of the country and was putting together he was gonna kill us all on election day. And Afghani that Joe and Kamala brought in, they love it. They're proud. They wouldn't do anything differently about Afghanistan. So
it's just amazing. And what that kid said, the statement that he made about the gun and people will listen. I'm sorry, but we will listen. We will listen. Agree, but I think that is a learned behavior.
Yes. Maybe I should bring a gun to school. Then maybe they will listen to me. You gotcha. We listen to you.
If I had a gun in this traffic, people would, I don't know, but he's heard that somewhere from someone.
Maybe I should bring a gun to school. Then maybe they will listen to me. You're darn. It's brilliant. We did, and you know what? Here's the cop. He's coming to arrest you. You're gone. You're never going to be in the school again. Get out of here.
They should have done more. And the fact that they let that the county or the state or whatever let it be even a suit. Are you kidding me? They should pay the county.
Yes.
They should pay the county back.
Yeah.
For all the frivolous time and money spent.
And they say we owe them. BS. They say we owe them, and they're suing the school district. Disgusting. Yeah. Disgusting.
And FEMA has no money. Why?
For the illegals. Now, these people, it doesn't say that. I'm assuming they're legal immigrants, but they hate this country. They need to leave.
You know what they say about assuming, but I don't.
About what?
That they're not about when you assume. So yes. I'm going to go with the fact that I'm going to lean more toward they're not here legally. It's amazing how many people are out there that I've encountered and they barely have green cards and I'm like, well, how did you get this nice vehicle? How did you get how's your kid going to a private school that both of my girls are in the Frisco school district.
Yeah.
But anyways,
I appreciate
what you do.
Yeah, you too, Jill. You're wonderful. Thank you very much. What I was telling you, man, you guys are really on fire tonight with your great calls and your contributions. This is really a super real thing for all of us because most of us have kids, and even if we don't, we are horrified by these school shootings, and we want justice for anybody that threatens, whether they mean it or not, does not matter. And this is a real on-the-ground issue that we all have a serious passion about, and I'm grateful for your calls. Hey, coming up next on the Chris Crock Show at News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3, elite colleges. Professors are saying their students at elite colleges can't read books. I'm going to tell you about this, and we'll talk about why you think it's happening and what do you think the answer is to solving the problem. That is kicking them out of school, flunking them. 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. That is coming up at 9:50 on News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3. This is remarkable. Elite colleges shocked to discover students who don't know how to read books. And these are elite places like Columbia, Georgetown, and Stanford. This is a lengthy piece in the Atlantic. They describe this phenomenon of students being overwhelmed by the prospect of reading entire books. Columbia humanities prof said, I remember feeling bewildered when a first-year student told me she'd never been required to read a full book at her public high school. My jaw dropped, he said. The chair of, and by the way, some profs do find some students up to the task, but they're now more the exception than the rule. Others are shutting down when facing difficult texts. I mean, dude, you're in an elite school. Get out. The chair of Georgetown's English department says his students have trouble staying focused on even a sonnet. It's not only they don't want to do the reading, it's that they don't know how. It's not that they don't want to, it's that they don't know how. Middle and high schools have stopped asking them. I'm going to ask you the question now. I got a bunch more on this, but why do you think this is happening? Why do you think so many schools at elite colleges, so many colleges, the professors are reporting that most of their students cannot read a full book? Why do you think that's happening? I cannot wait to tell you what I think in a moment. But why do you think it's happening, and what do you think the answer is to solving this problem? 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. Why do you think this is happening where students can't read a whole book at elite universities, most of them? And what do you think the answer is to solving this problem? 800-288-WBAP, 800-288-9227. Lines wide open. Chime in right now. One survey of 300 third to eighth grade teachers found only 17% of the third through eighth grade teachers said they primarily teach whole texts. Nearly 25% say whole books themselves are no longer the focus of their curriculum. This is horrifying. My son and daughter were homeschooled, and it was what's called a Charlotte Mason approach, which is living books, reading books. You don't learn all these facts and everything. You learn the story and what really happened in a way that is riveting. Living books, historical fiction, historical facts, and then you have characters. Some are real, some are not, with all the dates and all the facts right. So you have a love story, or we have one student torn apart from his brother, and one fights for the North, one fights for the South. Just an amazing one. They were in Southern Illinois / Kentucky area. It was an amazing story that we read with my son. These are just amazing. My son's learned so much, and so has my daughter. Okay. We continue with that next on the Chris Crock Show, including psychologists. What do they suspect after being interviewed on this? That is next on the Chris Crock Show at 10:03.